Hey guys, Tiger here, and what a surprise. Yeah, now you know how I look like. I'm doing this because I just want to make a genuine video as a player or as a consumer. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys are staying at home, and obviously this pandemic is very dangerous, and by doing our part of staying at home, we are helping our health workers. So yeah. Um. Anyway, I don't know how I should start this video. I just got a lot of things to talk about, but the main reason why I'm here, making this video is to address some problems with Armored Aces, and I feel like I have the responsibility as a content creator and just speak out for the players. And yeah, so for those who doesn't know Armored Aces was a 3D tank game that came out couple like 5 years ago, I think, to in 2013, and um, it it essentially became a big game in 2014. And Armored Aces was one of the few tank games on Google Play Store at that time with Tanktastic. Even before World of Tanks Blitz made a debut. And so let's talk about me for a bit. Why do I want to play Armored Aces? Why do I want to make videos for Armored Aces? The thing is, back then, in 2013, I've always wanted to experience what it's like to create content, video content online. I always thought it was so interesting. Obviously, one of my favorite YouTubers back then were, well, there were plenty. I like to watch PewDiePie, for example. When I watch PewDiePie, he like make gameplays, he does commentary, he does all these funny things, and I'm like, I want to do that too. So by late 2014, I created a YouTube channel, and I basically wanted to record Android games and just play them. And yeah, I've made some videos. I think I started off with Minecraft or Geometry Dash. I don't remember, but I was very happy about it. Like all this was so new to me, and the problem was, like, I mean, back then, like, I didn't feel like I was being recognized online. I wasn't getting much views, and I thought, what's the point of making videos if I'm not getting anything? And so I just had a thought of, like, had a deep thought, what I was going to do with my channel. But then I was like, how about I record something that I like doing? And that was essentially Armored Aces. So, yeah, I've started recording Armored Aces, and then I was like, I think I'm enjoying this a lot because I'm actually recording something that I like doing. And I also want to talk about why I got into Armored Aces. Like, what were the reasons? Well, back then I had few games and they were sort of dying out. Player base was just going low because of bug issues. So in 2014, you guys might have heard about Fury. It's a tank film. So I've watched Fury, and I really love the action in that movie. I wouldn't say the movie was historically accurate, but I liked the tank fights and everything in it. I'm like, hey, what's that tank in that movie? That looks really, really cool. Um, and I just did some research. Oh, it's the Sherman tank. Oh, that's great. So I was like, how about, you know what? How about I try something new? Like, because I'm the guy who likes to play like FPS shooters or like simulators, whether it's a plane or So I went to Google Play Store and I come across this game called ACES, and I looked at it like this looks amazing. So I downloaded the game and I started playing, and I instantly loved the game. It was so good. So I just kept playing because there were a few things I liked about it. Like the map was really open. There were a whole bunch of variety of tanks. And yeah, it was very fun. I really liked how back then there were like mid tier and mix of mid tier and high tier tanks, and you just see them battling each other. That was really cool. I remembered I remembered like there were a lot of Tiger tanks in that game, and I was like, you know what, I just want to kick the butt, so I just got the Pershing, and I got into my Pershing, and yeah, wrecked all those guys, and yeah, that was great. Anyway, um, now today, there was something disappointing that happened. I opened the game and I realized there was some changes, and that happened to be like the fuel tank system. Like you play a match and it takes away like 3 points of your fuel, and then you can only play like 4 matches. And I that kind of like not allowed me to play the game, because I feel like the developers took away the main core functionality of the game, which was being less restrictive, being, having more options. The I just wonder why they added that system. Like it was a questionable thing. Look, there's plenty of reasons why it's not working. Well, first of all, if you look at the Google Play reviews on Armored Aces, you don't really see like 5 stars in there, or even a 4 star. There's a bunch of reviews saying that, oh, you added the field tank system, you ruined the whole game, you're not even fixing the bugs, and you add that, blah blah blah. Like, do you developers even like pay attention to the reviews? Because I feel like you guys are sort of like disconnected with us, the players, and like the community and the developers. I feel like there is some sort of connection, because basically we've been asking you to add like several things, and not only that, but we've been wanting like bug fixes, balanced teams. There's a whole list I could think of, but you guys, like the developers, I don't know what's happening, but they don't like pay attention to those things. They just think what they should add to the game instead, and then that just causes a big problem for the community, because that's not what the community wanted in the game. All right, so I understand that the developers needed like revenue. I totally understand that, but I just feel like you guys are not like doing it properly. You guys need to show us why we need to play your game. Why does it stand out to other tank games? Why do we have to play your game, basically? You have to show us that. And by showing us that, like, if you guys could show that you can make your tank game more like unique, more realistic. Like that's good, but um, you guys like need to prove that to the community first, and then you could take the credit and make some changes. But for now, I feel like you guys like sort of created a bottleneck for yourselves. So what I meant was like, because you guys added the field tank system, which takes away the main core functionality of the game, you're scaring players away, and players that they're not gonna come back and play your game anymore. They're gonna look at it, they're gonna feel angry, okay? And what happened is they're not gonna like watch ads, or like they're not gonna like come back or play more. What if you guys really needed revenue? Like you guys should have a different system instead. I just thought of like maybe if you like maybe like a free gold system. Like you could tell us to watch ads to get free gold. So that'll be good, because so that we could speed up our weapon upgrade or any sort of upgrade, to speed it up. Like just thought having that might be useful, that rather than restricting players from coming back to the game, because the game is not doing well already. It has lots of bugs. Okay, disconnections. There's teams are always so unbalanced, and some tanks are stronger than the other. It just feels overall unpolished. And in the past, I've watched some YouTube videos. For example, I watched Busternaut's video about his thoughts on ARM and ACES, and I think he had some good points. He said like the game was sort of feeling repetitive, like nothing much has changed, and all the tanks feel the same. Like like maybe like the tank was like doing same amount of damage, or maybe what I'm trying to say is like like it's just the same thing over again. And like that he didn't like wanted to play World of Tanks instead, because World of Tanks had better game mechanic. It had better graphics, had twice more tanks than Armored Aces. Yeah, that's just what's happening right now. Like, look, Sith Jaeger left Armored Aces too, and that sort of affected the community. As Sith Jaeger, he wants to make content about Armored Aces, what the strategies of playing each different tank, or just gameplays. And when he left, the community like sort of died after that. But for me, I just want to create interesting content for Armored Aces, something kind of unique and different from Sith Jaegers. I just want to make videos that are kind of funny, or just make moments, like highlight moments of my gameplays. But I feel like the developers are making that harder for me, basically. Like what Busternaut said, like game feels the same. I just wish that the developers have like something different, like the way the shells are flying across the map. It's unrealistic, I would say. It's like a laser. It's like you're shooting a laser. I've been playing lots of games. Like I've been playing like World of Tanks. I've played Heroes and Generals, War Thunder, and I just pay attention to the details. How tank shells are flying, how our tanks are taking damage. It's all very different, and it feels very different from Armored Aces. And Armored Aces just feels like another point and shoot game. And also, another problem is the developers promised us that they'll give us player customization, such as camos on tanks. I was hoping there might be like profile icons, so because most MMO games have like profile icons and gives a bit more personality to the player. I thought that would be interesting, but I've literally waited and haven't heard anything about it later. So I feel like why Armored Aces is failing is because developers are focusing on different games like Robo Krieg and Drone War, and they're paying more attention to those games, and they're developing it further than Armored Aces. And that's quite unfortunate because like most of the player base from those games were probably Armored Aces players too. Like they probably liked Armored Aces, and then they thought, oh, that Robo Krieg game will be so interesting. It'll be like Armored Aces, but except you're playing as a robot. They'll download it and play it. But Armored Aces, because now it's just full of bugs, unbalanced teams, disconnections. The players will be less interested to play your other games because they'll just think that it'll be the same. Yeah, I don't know why the developers decided to take away global chat. Global chat is actually very important in order to make the players feel connected to each other. Just another way to communicate in the game. I was also hoping for like offline modes, so players could like grind for tanks while battling bots, and obviously they didn't add that feature. I also wanted like custom matches where players could create their own room and players could just join in and have fun, and no. But the developers didn't want to add that. So overall, I'm just kind of disappointed with the game, because basically Armored Aces has allowed me to experience what it's like to have people like watching my content and building up a community, like an Armored Aces community. I just feel like the developers just sort of like taking it away, all of that experience. Well, I think what the reasonable thing that you guys could do is just fix the bugs. Okay, just fix the bugs. I think that's all we could ask, at least. We don't want anything else in the game. I mean, we do want customization and other things, like other new tanks and new maps, but I feel like the developers, I feel like you guys set your goals a bit too high. Like you guys were too optimistic, and then you guys realized that you guys couldn't achieve that goal. And ultimately, you just break promises. And yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about, but I just want to keep this video short. These are just my thoughts about Armored Aces. I just wish that developers would at least listen to the community and maybe like by listening to the community, you could make the game better. And yeah, I've seen games dying, okay, and there's seem to be like a pattern here. Like there's always games that start up very good and they build like a really big player base. Later the developers they sort of take that for granted, so they start adding like new new things. Sometimes things that players that they don't like. Sometimes things that the player doesn't want, and later like the the players they give like suggestions, feedback, but the developers they don't pay attention to those. They don't look at those, and what happened is you have more players complaining and less people enjoying the game, and then people start to leave the game, and that's how you kill the game. Basically, feedback is very important. Um, that's applies to me as well. I'm an animator. Um, I have questions like, well, how is my animation work standing out with other people? Like, why do people need to watch my animation? And then, like, as soon as I grow my audience, like, then I need to, like, ask them for feedback. So what can I improve on? How can I make my animation better? How can I make it unique? Like, what do you guys want, basically? And that's how you grow a very good community, a very good game. And I feel like the developers, they're not doing that well. So please, if you can, think about the players, and also think about what you guys are doing. And I just wish that field tank thing was gone. I just want maybe just add a different way to make revenue, because I feel like by adding that field tank, you're just gonna scare players away and they're not gonna come back and play. Okay, so thank you guys for listening. And I believe that ACES still has the chance, or still has the chance to redeem itself to become a best 3D tank game. And so I believe in it, and I hope the community as well. So please bring back global chat, and yeah, and just improve the game. But yeah, this is it for me, and thank you guys for watching. I I hope I can create more videos in the future. But yeah, just stay home and just stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.